Good afternoon, everyone. This is Meghna Yadav, the presenter of the session today, bringing again a very small gesture of love, again, a very small token of appreciation today, specifically for all the moms out there. A very, very warm welcome to each and everyone, and a big thank you for joining us again. We keep bringing such a small attempts on your way just to tell you that not only we care, but we strongly believe in this power of unity, in this power of staying connected with each other. This pandemic has tested all our powers, and mothers are no exception. We all have been going through this journey for months together now, and we actually don't know for how many more months or probably years, I hope not, we might be struggling with this tiny little virus in our biggest possible way. I hope everybody at your home is safe and secure. I hope you are taking care of your families, mommies, but please do take care of yourself. I might sound like broken record to each one of you, but I would still say this again and again that we need to take care of ourselves, to take care of our children. And in this humble attempt, it's a great idea to hear from everyone else. It's a great idea to hear from many mommies out there what is it going on in their lives and how are they managing it. This particular session, especially close to World's Mental Health Day, is actually a tribute to all the mommies who are doing their best, who are now having multiple hats, working day and night to keep the family intact. And this is something that is our humble attempt to tell you that we are there with you. We are together in this fight, not only on ground, but also through psyche. We are connected with each other. This pandemic world has given us very clear cut indication that mothers are found to be struggling not only because they are wearing multiple hats and they are doing almost every possible task, be it their professional commitments or personal commitments, but mothers are really, really now getting exhausted, burning out. They are struggling to make ends meet. And there are experienced mommies who are now sharing through their blogs, through their notes, through their social media posts on what's working for them and what is it the struggle all about. One pattern that is coming out very clearly through various research, through various science publications, now recently coming out in terms of sociological and psychological impact of this pandemic, is that not only mothers are struggling to maintain their calm, their strengths, they feel exhausted, they do have their own moments of weakness while raising strong children, but they also are unknowingly impacting the mental and psychological well-being of their children. So this connection is something that we need to take care of, and we will discuss in depth that how important it is for mothers to take care of their children because their own psychological well-being is heavily associated with children's psychological well-being. And to understand this connect beautifully, we have the India's top most influencers here. Apart from me, who is sitting here to moderate the session for you, I am a humble child psychologist and working with families across globe, including with the families of KLAY preschools and daycare. I always say that the mothers who are strongly connected with each others are real source of inspiration for all of us. And in that series, we have very well known mom influencers on board. They have a great connect with many mommies on ground, and I'm really, really looking forward to hear from each one of them about not only their own stories, but what we hear from so many moms in so many different ways trying to be their best and bring the best to their children and families. Let's not delay it further. Let's start. And I would really like to welcome the very first mom influencer. She is Manasi Kapoor, joining us straight from the north of India. And I really feel honored to have her here simply because not only she comes with a rich experience of raising her own children, but also connecting with thousands and thousands of mommies. So, Mansi, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone here?
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Meghna, for such a grand introduction. Hi guys, I'm Mansi Kapoor and I'm a stay-at-home mother and I am a mother to two beautiful daughters, aged 6 and 3. And I am lucky to be a part of such a big discussion wherein we as a women feel everything going by day, and nobody just experiences these things just like that. And this platform has given us an opportunity to talk about it. This subject has been always inside our brains, but nobody talks about it. So thank you for having me over here, and it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this.
Thanks so much, Mansi. We really look forward for all the rich experience that you are going to share in terms of challenges, solutions, what worked for you, what did not work for you, and some takeaways for the audience here. Adding on to this great panel, we have Arul joining us right straight from Chennai. Arul comes with a rich experience of not only with her great profession of being a doctor herself, but also raising beautiful child of hers. So, Arul, why not hear it right from you? Please do share great insights about you.
Hi, Meghna. Thank you for that lovely introduction. First of all, thank you, KLAY, for organizing this great event. As she said, yes, I'm a doctor by profession. I am an oral oncologist, actually. And this journey is very special to me. I conceived my child as I was doing my post graduation. And all through pregnancy, I was juggling my work and pregnancy life. And I thought I had everything on control. I had everything. I could amazingly do it. And then my son came out and proved me wrong in every aspect possible and gave me so many challenges that I was so overwhelmed at one point. And then I decided I needed a vent and I started my blog. That is how I started writing about motherhood. And eventually I realized happiness on motherhood is one of the reasons to write. And this writing gave me so much happiness that I was able to share it with the other mothers. And we eventually formed the Chennai Mom Tribe, which unites many mothers together in Chennai and tells them that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. So that's my journey.
Oh, thank you so much, Arul. You took words out of my mouth. I say this to myself multiple times that it's okay to be not okay. And I also tell this to my children that it's okay if mama is not able to give you the best. This is best that what mama can give you.
Exactly.
This is wonderful. We'll talk more about it in depth in coming few
Sure.
minutes. But I take immense pleasure in inviting Namrata from Hyderabad. And Namrata comes with rich experience of raising twins. So all those mommies out there who struggle when they have twins to take care of, I think Namrata is here to guide us, to support us. Namrata, please do share a bit more about you with the audience here. And a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I'm truly honored and privileged to be a part of this beautiful panel. Thank you to KLAY for recognizing the importance of mothers and mental health and for actually bringing us all on board to share our experiences. It's an absolutely wonderful feeling to talk about something that has been under the wraps or under the carpets for so long and is slowly finding its way to the fore, because really mothers do run the ship, right? So my journey of being a twin mother is also the same journey of me being a blogger and an influencer. I have 7-year-old twin boys. I work as the city editor for Momspresso, which is India's largest parenting platform. I also volunteer with an organization called Safety, which is a gender equality organization that works for rights of women all over the world. Through my work, I often say that I'm trying to raise feminist boys and I'm trying to tell everyone that it's okay to be a feminist and it's the need of the hour. But really, today we're talking about World Mental Health Day and mothers and mental health. And I started my journey of being a blogger because I didn't have any direction at that point of time, because nobody told me that it's okay to not be okay when you're a mother, because I couldn't find anything written in India about the reality of motherhood, because mothers are always placed on a pedestal in our country. I started writing then, way back then, and then I realized that there is a huge audience out there who wants to know the truth of motherhood. And 7 years later, here I am sharing my experiences as a twin mother, as a blogger, as an influencer. Because, like Arul rightly said, it's okay to not be okay, and more mothers need to realize that and need to accept it as a way of life. That's what makes us perfectly imperfect.
So true. I really look forward to hear your 7 years rich experience of writing and sharing your journey. And this is where we come from, because it is not about for giving you some parenting tips. So the audience who is listening to us, please don't see some miracles coming out of this session. It is a session to connect. It is a session to share our worries, our concerns, and finding some solutions of that. It is a session to tell you that we are together. It is a session to tell us that we need to take care of ourselves. And in the same link, I would like to invite one more panelist, last but not the least, joining us straight from Bangalore. And she comes with her rich experience of hands on activity with her child. And I would like to see your lovely face and would love to hear your great journey of not only getting into this hands on experience of raising your child, but sharing those tips that have benefited thousands of mommies out there.
Hey guys, thank you for having me here. So I'm Anne. I live in Bangalore. I'm a user experience designer by profession, but my passion is art, craft, and DIY. So luckily, my son also enjoys art and craft. And when he was a toddler itself, we started creating handprint art and footprint art and so on. And that's how I started my blog, All Things Beautiful. So I think the year 2020 has been a year when all of us had to kind of restart our routine to a new normal. And I really appreciate Clay and Meghna for having hosting this so that we can talk about what moms have been going through. And I think it's a topic to really discuss about. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to a very insightful discussion. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anne. A very warm welcome to this rich panel. So much to learn, so much to hear. I would really love to see each one of you sharing your insights, coming on board, and telling us what not to do and what to do in cases of challenges, in cases when we are confused. I would say it is not a great idea to start with challenges or confusions around. As the culture goes, we need to talk everything good and good, but actually let's keep it realistic. I always say that I have never seen a bigger or greater heroism than motherhood. So kudos to each and every mother who is out there surviving with all the odds, giving her best to her children. And this is something that I say to my children also many a times. I don't know about how other moms are doing, but I know I'm your best mommy. I'm trying my level best. You cannot get a better mom than me. I keep reminding to myself and I keep reminding to my children as well. And I really believe, mommies, this is a tribute to you. So no, there is no point or there is no time limit where we can go gaga over all the wonderful things that mommies are doing in their own little sphere. Whatever you do from morning till the time you sleep, mommies, hats off, kudos to you. Every single mom who is listening to me, including myself, pat yourself. You are really doing a great job. First of all, let's congratulate, let's pat ourselves that whatever God has given to us, especially in this year, we are doing our best. We are trying our level best, even if we are juggling between our meetings and kitchen, even if we are juggling between deadlines and managing children's online classes, even if we are really juggling between our own hair color, our own makeup, which we have forgotten for months now. So I would really say that it is real that we are surviving with our pajamas, with our home dresses, but we are doing great. In whatever little way we can do, we are doing great. And in this journey, we are facing certain challenges. Amidst all this, by the end of the day, there are days when we are exhausted. We have a feeling of burning out. There are days when we ask, what are we doing to ourselves? There are days when we question, am I doing it right? There are days when a child gives you a tough time, you hear something from a child's school, you catch your child doing something which he or she should not be doing, and you blame it on yourself. So there are many such challenges that we face. I would leave it on the panel to share because they have far bigger reach to many mommies out there. So not only please share your own journey, but please share what you hear or what you see through your blogs when you connect with thousands of mommies out there. So over to each one of you. Let's start with any one of you. How about you, Arul? Because you are struggling both with your work commitments as well as your personal commitments. So I would love to hear from you, and then my same question goes out to everyone out there.
Okay, so we have been balancing work and parenting for quite some time now, and we were used to it at one point, and then the pandemic happened. And what happened was my support system was I was isolated from my support system. My parents were living X kilometers away. My in-laws were living another X kilometers away, and now that distance became very real. As doctors, my husband was expected to treat patients, and we didn't want to put our elderly parents under risk. So the parenting pressure became very real for us, where we had to manage the toddler just by ourselves. So that was an awakening moment for us, where we realized how much support system we had before the pandemic. We could leave our baby with the elders for some time if we needed to go out for work. And now that was simply lacking, and that was overwhelming for me. It took me some time to realize how much work other people were doing in raising my child along with me. It made me appreciate that it really took a village to raise my son. So that was a huge challenge. And the second biggest challenge was to entertain him while I fruitfully did my work. Because we were all home, he wanted constant attention. And that again was not something that we were used to as working parents. We were there with him completely when we were home, but we were not used to being at home 24/7, truly. So this was this.
And just to keep the audience informed, Arul is the mother of a beautiful toddler. And
Yes.
toddlers and teenagers is my favorite age group when I work as child psychologist, because these two age groups believe that they know everything about this world. They are the
Exactly.
experts and they have their own world. So I know how much struggle it must be for you. We have gone through the same phase, and I'm sure many moms like me can relate very well with what you say, that the support system, thankfully, in country like India
Yes.
is huge, and we realize the value of it when it is not around.
So I realized the preciousness of going to the loo alone without
So
my son banging on the door every minute, calling out
thank
to me.
you, Arun,
Yes.
for starting on that realistic note. Appreciate that coming straight from your heart. How about you, Mansi? I'm sure you must have gone through similar challenges while raising two of your children. So please do share what the challenges and the real ground, actually, sometimes tough times, I would say, that we go through.
Right, right. So my family is different, each to its own. So I live in a joint family, and I've been blessed that way throughout pandemic. I had few hands, not just me, to take care of my both my girls. But even then, there have been times, there are certain things which only mother can take care of. If a child is doing her online classes, I have to sit with her. Now I have two. So the elder one would always come back to me and say, "Why are you sitting with her? Why aren't you sitting with me?" And it used to get so gobbled up in my head. What should I do? Where should I go? And the best thing which I did as a mother, just to solve all this thing and all the chaos which was happening, was to just go back and lie down with them at night, when they are about to sleep, and I would just talk to them. What do you feel best about the day? What did you not like about the day? So that they can communicate and tell me that, Mama, we did not like that you said this thing to us. Or probably I'll tell them that, Beta, you should have done something of this sort. I felt bad.
Uh-huh.
This is how I have bonded with my kids, and I try and talk to them. And even though they don't, I mean, they will not come up with so many things to talk about, but yeah, even two or three things, saying that, Mama, we felt bad that you shouted on us, or Mama, we wanted that toffee, you didn't give it to us. Only those things, and just half an hour of me and them talking together. That's it, before they sleep, so that they sleep with a peace in their mind, that yes, we have told everything, every of our concern to our mother, and she has acknowledged that. So that has been my
But
final.
I love the way Mansi talked about the referee parenting. Technically, we call it referee parenting. When you have two children, you end
Yes,
up being a referee that you not only solve their issues among themselves, you tend to question yourself, am I being really partial?
exactly.
Am I
Yeah,
really being biased? And I always say, well, I cannot choose between my right eye and left eye. But that is so true when you are a mother of two. But our children, I think, will take time in understanding this love, that it actually doubles up. It is not half when
that's
you
what.
are a mother of two. So thank you so much for touching on that. We'll talk in depth when we talk about the challenges more and also the solutions. Similar lines, we have Namrata here. So Namrata, would you like to add on what Mansi has highlighted just now?
Yes. So, like Mansi, I also stay in a joint family, and so the difference here is that I we have four boys in the house, and they're all there's a 13-year-old, there's a 9-year-old, and of course my twin boys who are 7.5 years old. So the good thing is that they're pretty much independent. They don't need any help with online classes. But the bad thing is that they are very independent and they don't need help in managing their devices. So we don't know what they're doing on their devices. So we constantly have to, be around them or hover around them. That being said, the other three adults in my house go out to work every day. There are two doctors and there's one who works in essential services. So they go out to work every day while I work from home. So, and
Mhm.
before the pandemic, I had a time from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock to myself, where I would do my work, where it was just me, where I could sit and have my cup of tea in peace. Of course, with the pandemic, that has not happened. I have people around me all the time. I have noise around me all the time, and that has really, really affected the way I think. That has really affected the way I function because I realized the value of silence. I realized the value of me time, and I realized that this is very important for me, and I cannot function without it. So, what worked for me was actually telling my family members about it, explaining to them that, this is what I'm used to. So, I need an hour to myself every day at least. And they gave it to me, and I realized that, that was the most effective thing I did. The second thing that I did was like we acknowledge that as adults we are going through so many emotions. Can we even imagine the kind of emotions our children are going through, and they don't even know what the coronavirus is all about. They don't understand the implications of the virus. So we actually sat down. I mean, we make it a point to sit down and tell them that this is as difficult for you as it is for me. It's not easy for me, it's not easy for you, we don't expect it to be. And acknowledge their emotions. I think that has really helped me sort of stay calm and stay sane and tell our kids that it's okay, it's a difficult period, but we're going to be in history books, so yay for that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. In fact, one of the mommies I was talking to today morning was saying, "I wonder, Meghna, what we did because after Spanish flu, this pandemic, why we were born in this era to bear all this." And I'm like, well, there are two ways to look at it. We are getting stronger if we can bear this. Probably we can bear anything in this world. So let's look at the brighter side. Though it's a rarest of the rare event happening around us, but every single event that happens and checks our powers tells us that yes, you are far more powerful than what you think. So I totally agree with you. And here we are, where we are listening from mommies who are in joint family. They need not to probably worry much about the aspect of socialization. like Namrata was highlighting, now I value my silence. But there are many families and many moms, especially when I work and I listen to close to 35 to 40 families a day as my profession. I really feel that there are many families, especially in urban Indian parenting setup, where there is a sense of loneliness. It's actually one child with two adults at time, and their struggle is very different because to keep the child productively engaged all by himself or herself with no other siblings, no other peers around is actually very challenging. I'm not sure how much you relate with this, Anne, but do you have some insights on the challenges, the problems that you face while raising your child under this pandemic, or in general as well?
Definitely. So I think as adults, like Namrata mentioned, as adults, we are far more mature to understand the situation. But for children, if you look at, I'll talk from my personal thing. So my son is a swimmer. So ever since he was 3 years old, he goes to the swimming pool every weekend and some on some of the weekdays too. So all of the sudden, swimming stopped. All of the sudden, school and playground and meeting friends and dance classes, everything stopped. So I think for him, it's like the parents now, parents, grandparents, we become the friends, come the teachers and everything. So of course swimming was given away, so we had to find an alternative, so that there is some physical exercise, and that's how we started doing yoga. So I started yoga during this pandemic, and my son would join along and things like that. So every day when he used to go and come back from school, I'd ask him, "How did your school go? What did you do?" and things like that. And he would have some stories to share. Some of them were so amusing, funny stories of what he did with his friends. Some of them were annoying. Some of them were nice, happy. So I think for children, they're kind of having a tough time because they're completely cut off from meeting their friends and playing, and so many things they're missing out. So the parents have to fill in those gaps. So what we do is, of course, we are into art and creativity, but we try to bring in karaoke. So actually, my son introduced me to karaoke because he used to do it with his friends at school. So he would sing Believer, and then he taught me, and we sing along when we can. So sometimes we've got to dance along. Sometimes we've got to play snake and ladder, Ludo. So we've got to accommodate all these things. No matter what my schedule is, I think during this pandemic, I've put it on the back burner, because I didn't want the child to go through a lonely phase, because we realized that, they too are going through some unprecedented times. And children, like Namrata mentioned, are not matured enough to understand the situation.
Mhm. Very correct, Anne. And this is where the challenge is coming from because I would actually use this platform to keep every single parent posted that the biggest worry that a child has when the child is clueless about certain things. So the more you hide the information, the worse it is for the child, be it of any age group, simply because when the child is not clear what's happening around me, the worst possible option comes into the child's mind. And there are multiple set of research that clearly highlights that giving half information to the child, or keeping or trying to keep the child in dark that hey, nothing will happen, oh, it's just another virus, keeping the child away from reality to the extent that the child is more confused than ever, is actually detrimental. So one thing that I would really request every single mommy or daddy listening to us is that talk to your child as much as possible. You might feel that the child is not able to understand, and of course, like many moms over here are also highlighting that they are not mature enough to gaze on their own what's happening around. So as parents, as significant adults around our children, it's our humble duty to keep them informed. It is our humble duty to keep sharing what is happening around them. So, probably we have already entered into the next part of our discussion, which is actually revolving around this solutions. because there are challenges. And I would really like to summarize this part by saying that be it stay at home mom or be it working moms, the journey is very much similar. We all are juggling multiple hats, be it a nuclear family or a joint family. There might be different kinds of challenges, but challenges are there. And we all are not only fighting the physical battle against this pandemic, we are also fighting the psychological battle. Confining children in four walls, pretty much restricting all our socialization opportunities, the grand marriages, the fat Indian weddings, the movies and the theaters. We are missing all that. And it is high time now that we get the opportunity to enjoy all that. But it's not looking like that it's happening very soon. And these are the challenges that we all are going through. Amid all this, we are supposed to stay happy. We are supposed to not worry. We are supposed to tell our child, oh, buddy, everything will be fine. And let's give it one more try. Few more days, few more days. And sometimes our children are looking at us with questioning eyes. Really? Only few more days to go? And we all go through these kind of challenges to in our own little zones. And amidst all this, we have found our solutions too. For example, cycling. I like when Anne was talking about swimming. I know many families, including myself, that we have decided that cycling is going to be our outdoor activity. That is the safest possible in current scenario. So we take turns in going out for cycling, or all of us go together. Just few rounds around the community helps us to get the fresh air and come back home. And I'm sure all of you must be having your own solutions in your own families. I wish I could hear all the members from audience. So audience, if you're listening to us, start posing your thoughts, start sharing your feedback. I will save enough time to take your questions and hear from the mommies, experienced moms over here right now. But let's hear it right from them first. What are the solutions, or what are the little changes that you have decided to follow in coming few weeks based on your experience of last few weeks or months? So why not start with Anne herself? She was already talking about the changes, and I love the way you talked about karaoke. So please do share what are few more solutions or day-to-day changes that you have incorporated, which has helped you immensely. And please
Right.
do not hesitate in sharing your failures also.
Sure.
Sometimes you learn by the mistakes of others. So please do share where you went wrong and what is it that did not work.
Okay, so I think the first step, what we can do as moms, and for not only for the children, for the entire family, is to take the necessary precautions. That's one. But otherwise, at any given point of time, our immunity is our first level of defense. So what I did during this pandemic, it's like I've never done it all these years. It was like looking at what are the vitamin-rich food, what are the kind of, how can I kind of create a balanced diet for my family that's going to help us throughout, that that can, what can I do, that's in my control. So that's when I started introducing amla and vitamin rich food, ashgard juice and things like that. And my son is a very fussy eater. All these years I've been quite unsuccessful at feeding him something, but there was this reason of being, it's a pandemic, there's a big virus out there. If we've got to stay healthy and avoid hospital and things like that, you got to eat amla, you got to drink this ashgard juice, so, and things like that. So that has
And
helped
was
me.
it successful? Your child started taking food?
He did. I think there
Oh,
is, I mean, I think everyone's taken the virus so seriously. And the good part is there is a saying, right? There is, in every adversity, there lies an opportunity. So I think many of them have started taking meaningful decisions in regards to, taking care of our own health. Instead of eating junk food, we are eating, we're more conscious about what we are eating. So meaningful diet and healthy food, that's one step. The second thing I said was, we've got to get good sunlight early in the morning. So that's the best source of vitamin D. So somewhere between 6 to 8 o'clock, if the weather is favorable, me and my son, we go to the terrace, and I try to get him to do some meditation, so that we're doing meditation, calming our minds, getting mindful, and at the same time getting sunlight. So it's a win-win, and he's been doing this for quite some time, through this pandemic, because there's nothing else to do. Earlier, before the pandemic, his schedule was tight. It used to be like wake up at 5 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, the school bus is there, or we've got to be at the swimming pool and things like that. So, and in a place like Bangalore, which is so famous for traffic jams, I keep saying half our lives of Bangaloreans go in the traffic jams. So we've got
And
tiny
rest half is goes in cursing it.
right, absolutely, absolutely. It's the best
Yeah.
way to lose our mind. So now we've got that time. So, taking care of our own health becomes a priority. And of course, like I said, some kind of physical exercise. I think yoga is great, cycling is great. But during the pandemic, of course, we couldn't step out of the house. So that's when we started doing yoga, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think going back to ancient wisdom makes a lot of sense right now, despite all this modern day. Whatever healing is there, I think ancient wisdom already had the solution to whatever problems we are facing now. So these were things that, yeah, basically food, sunlight, and
Very,
staying
very
positive.
important points. I actually recently attended a conference on global conference, and I was listening, not actually talking about why parents are going back to their roots under this pandemic, and is this change going to stay? And I sincerely pray that it stays. It is very important to go back to your roots and stay over there. And like you very well said, this ancient wisdom is something that is helping us a lot. I hope we don't need another pandemic to remind us about that. Enough of this pandemic. But yes, a lesson learned beautifully over here is to go back to your roots and maintain a rhythm in your day. These small changes of having some sunlight, these small changes of have some outdoor activity, a small change of bringing yoga in your routine. Easier said than done. There are families who come to me and they say, "Oh, I start with a bang and then whoosh, I stop." Amidst the humdrum of life, it is very significant to continue investing in these easy solutions. So, thank you so much, Anne, for highlighting those. I always say every family is unique, so there must be unique solutions also. How about you, Varul? Because managing work amidst pandemic and then managing your own children, it is a task. Mommy dear gets exhausted, and sometimes I really need to tell my children, Baba, I need 5 minutes of silence. Can I answer your question after 5 minutes? After talking whole day for my professional commitments, and I'm sure you can relate with it. So,
I
what are
do.
your solutions, Arul, and all those mom who are listening outside as working moms? Would you like to share based on your connectivity also, or the Chennai tribe that you were talking about?
I do. I have something to tell all the mothers who have young children at home. Of course, the
Sure.
older children have their share of academics that is keeping them involved for some time and setting some tone to their day. But parents who have very young children who are not committed yet, this is what helped me a lot during the pandemic, setting a schedule for my child. So he wakes up at a predictable time. He does a certain set of things, and then he goes for probably for play, or he has breakfast and then he goes for play, and then the play lasts for a certain amount of time, and then there is bath time, and then there is again a snack time, and then there is a play. So we set a schedule. Now, with the schedule, we could achieve two things. One is predictability and rhythm that the child loved. He loved it so much, and I read about it later on that children feel reassured if they can expect something in advance in their day, and that calms them down in that stage of a toddler where everything is uncertain to them and confusing. So setting a schedule really helped him, and it helped me because we were able to take a timetable between me and my husband and say, yes, From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock to 10:30, I will do this with the baby, and then you can take over, and then I can have 15 minutes of rest, and then both of us can get together and do something else with the baby. So we were able to allocate our time between each other and the baby, and then once he goes for a nap, we were able to catch up on whatever work was left out. This helped
Oh,
a lot.
wonderful, Arul. I'm so thankful to you because you were highlighting two very significant solutions coming across various research papers also. UNICEF actually published a report in August 2020 while involving 36 countries, including India, about the solutions coming from mommies. And these two were great solutions, part of that report as well.
Oh,
So
that's
I would request every single person in the audience to take note of these two aspects. Those who have attended sessions and webinars of KLAY know this concept. We love we love the concept of routine. So
yes.
setting a routine in family is something we heavily recommend. As child psychologist, I always say this is a simple science, parents. Routine well set in family gives predictability of the day to the child, and this sense of predictability calms down the whole stress hormone system of body. So children who are under stress or who are going through pandemic, we heavily recommend to have routine for them. In general in life we heavily recommend, but under this pandemic it is more important to have a routine, and routine has a simple science. The routine should be followed with only 40-minute window. So parents, if you are listening to us, if your child gets up at 7, like Anne was saying earlier, my child used to get up at 5 for catching school bus. I'm fine if that time has changed now and it is now 7. But even under this pandemic, when the child is not rushing to catch the school bus, kindly ensure that your child gets up within this 40-minute window. So Monday, if it is 7, Tuesday it should be 7:15, 7:20. Wednesday it should be 7:30, 7:40. It should not be 7 and then 8:30, then 9, going haywire everywhere. So please note this 40-minute window to maintain routine in children is very helpful, not only for children but also for adults. Because the second point that Arul highlighted is of equal parenting. You share the load when you know, okay, I have this time zone where I have meeting. Currently, my husband here is doing his duty of managing both the children, and I am sitting with all of you peacefully, knowing very well that it is right now very well shared load. And so it's true with all the moms who are sitting here and many moms who are watching this. So, Mansi, do you see similar trends in your family? I'm sure you have multiple hands to help you, but do you have few more solutions that we can quickly share with the audience?
Yes. So apart from what we touched based on the conversation and communication, which is very important, irrespective of their age. Even if a child is 2 or 3, the child can tell you about what he feels, and he can express himself in the best possible way. So you should always talk as a mother. And second thing, which I would feel is most important, is to let go. We were talking about failures. I'll tell you about my failure. So when this pandemic started, it was all on my head. One of them is shouting from here, the other one is shouting from there, Mama, I want that, Mama, I want that, Mama. And I would be like, what should I do? Who should I listen to? Where should I go? And I was going crazy for 3 months. I was so angry all the time. I had this pressure on my head for some reason, and I would be agitated. I won't talk to anybody in a nice way. So I just sat one day and I said that why am I behaving like that? What is wrong with me? Am I being a bad mother and shouting on them for no reason? That's when I got to know that it's okay to let go. If they want to have candy, you can say yes to one time and no to others. It's absolutely okay. If a child wants to watch an iPad, then I can do that also. I can let them watch for 5 minutes and then ask them to give it back. They will follow. So this is what I have learned in this pandemic, to let go.
A big hug to you, Mansi, for being so honest. We all have our low points, and it's perfectly fine
Yeah.
to have that. I have read it somewhere that life doesn't come with a manual; it comes with mother. But I always say, God, please give a manual to mothers at least, because we really don't know. The moment a child is born, a mother is also born at that time.
Exactly.
Nobody taught us motherhood. We are also learning, and For sure, we will have our own low moments. For sure, we will do our own acts which are not appropriate, could be done better, and it's perfectly fine. This is the most natural style of parenting, and questioning ourselves all the time is not going to help us. Thank you so much, Mansi, for highlighting that wonderful solution. Namrata, we have heard so many great things, but I'm sure, as I said, each family is unique, each mommy is unique. Please do share your unique solutions that we can take some points from.
Yeah, so like I already mentioned, I'm in a joint family, and my family has always been a lot into physical activities and into sports and things like that. So this pandemic actually strengthened the resolve of everybody around me and everybody in my family to sort of be a fitter version of themselves. In my locality, unfortunately, just the first month was really, really strict. The month after that, our building restrictions opened up, so we were able to go down to play, to exercise. We found a very good mentor for our kids in the building who sort of used to do exercises with the children every morning. Like, so they would be up at 6 in the morning. From 6 to 9, they would be playing downstairs, and not just playing cricket or playing football. They would be doing push-ups. They would be doing pull-ups. They would be doing CrossFit. They would be doing God knows what all. And the kids really have built up their strength and have really built up their stamina. And also, it has helped them release a lot of their emotions, because physical activity is the best way to do that. The conversations they've had while doing those physical activities. My youngest son now, who was born IUGR at 1.2 kgs, is now able to lift a 8 kg tire and roll it on the floor. So that for me is like a big, big achievement. As a family, we all have gotten fitter. My husband has gone from a size XL in March to a size M now in October.
Wow.
And we have practically installed a mini gym in our house. We have resistance bands, we have dumbbells, we have pull up bars, we have God knows what all. So, this physical activity has really helped all of us not just deal with the pandemic better, but also be better versions of ourselves. And I think that is so important. It's because this is a lifetime commitment that we've made. It's whether the pandemic is there or whether it's not there, it's a great lifestyle change that we've made.
Oh
That's
yeah,
one.
that's wonderful takeaway, and I would relate it from where we started when Anne was talking about the horrible traffic on roads of Bangalore. I say to many of my clients, many clay parents who reach out to me for juggling of time, that I wish God would have given me more than 24 hours, and I say, think about this: that you are not spending time on roads now. The all the traffic time which is wasted can be invested in your own health as well as your parenting. Just pick those moments when you were on road in the morning hours. Instead of that, have breakfast with your family. So this is actually a luxury. Probably we will never get that. All the meals are happening with all the family members. This itself is a huge luxury that we are having right now, which we were missing, especially for lunch. I would say that all of us were having in different directions of the city, and good thing is that all of us at least sit together. Great solutions coming from each one of you. A quick wrap up before I take Q&A and I take many questions. We are having many set of questions and I would not like to miss them. So a quick wrap up, any one or two takeaway that you would like to share with all the moms who are listening to you. Let's start from Namrata. You were just talking about, you have already shared your solutions. Any particular thing that you would like to share as your takeaway?
Yes, I think the most important thing that the pandemic has taught me, that we have this saying that monkey see, monkey do. So if really you want your kids to do something, then the best way to do it is to do it yourself, and the kids will follow. I've seen that happen in my house, right from physical exercise to reading to less use of screens. It's the same. And that will also, so if you're happy as a mother, your children will also be happy. That will also be reflected. If you're happy, your children will be happy. So don't be afraid, and try and be the best version of yourself. But even if you can't, it's okay. Let your children see that there is
So,
beauty in
so
imperfection.
So thankful to you. Very important point. Again, scientifically based. I'm so glad these mommies see it on ground. It's a very great connection of lab to land, from science to practical aspects. But yes, the recent trends are clearly telling us, and though this is a phenomenon of parenting, which we many times highlight, the pandemic is not there. Even then, we also highlight that walk the talk parents. If you want your children to wash hands after they come home from outdoor play, your job is to, when you put down your office bag, when you enter into your home, just say, I need to wash my hands because I came from outside. And that's it. You need not to tell your child, wash your hands. If you are doing it, they will follow it. So walk the talk. Wonderful takeaway coming from Namrata. Mansi, what would you like to share with everybody?
For me, it would be to have patience. I know everybody is saying that time and again, but it really makes an importance. If you show patience to your own kids, that's how they will also take it away from you. Like
A
once you see,
wonderful combination of let go and have patience coming from Mansi. I love this dual combination. First of all, let go things you really cannot manage. It's
right,
okay. And don't expect perfection in each and every task of yours. Accept mediocrity. That's a wonderful thing. Especially accept it when while your partner is mastering it. So recent research highlight that daddies, you really need to come out of this gender specific role zone. You really need to tell yourself that this is mama's job, this is daddy's job. That does not work in homes. And the second thing that is coming out from research for mommies as a great message is that mommies, we really need to accept mediocrity till the time our partner is learning that task. So accept that. Don't wonder perfections. Don't expect perfections when somebody poor chap is learning that. So that's a wonderful takeaway. How about you, Arul and Anne? Would you like to go ahead, Arul, first, and share your quick takeaways before we connect with the audience?
Okay, there is something that we should learn from the dads also. There is no terminology called dad guilt, as there is mom guilt.
so
And
true.
we mothers are our worst critics. So be a little like daddy and chill. It's okay. Let it go. That's what
Arul,
I would.
I was reading in one of the parenting books. It is very tough to be a mother. Otherwise, I would have been a father.
Mother,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, with due respect to all the daddies, great job. Hats off to my own partner, and it's so is true with thousands and millions of dads out there. Your presence matters, daddies. What you contribute, it is of high significance in family. Actually, you complete the family, and every single effort that you do towards equal parenting, kudos to you. Hats off to you. Continue doing your bit because it is so much of significance when a daddy participates with his unique style, with his unique flavor, and keep telling us that we need not to be so judgmental about ourselves. I think that's for sure, like Arul said. Don't do that much often. How about you, Anne?
Yeah, so I think what this pandemic has taught me, especially, is there was so much, when this started off, there was so much of fear, so much of pessimism, and things like that. And it's not going to help. So, fear will only keep us in a state of contraction where nothing great happens, no solutions come out from a state of fear. So, it took me a while. So, it took me a couple of weeks to actually get into a state of neutrality. Just become a neutral observer. Don't judge any country, don't judge any people, and just observe and accept what's going on and see what can I do, what is in my control, what can I do for myself, for my family, for my loved ones. So this is one lesson I've really learned from this pandemic, is to not let fear, anxiety, and stress come in the way of our daily life and progress.
This is my takeaway. Thank you so much, Anne, for reminding me that, because I tend to get anxious when it comes to family's health. For
Anybody will, anybody will.
in general, health is of paramount importance for each one of us. and under this pandemic it is more so, and I tend to forget, and I actually worry that I'm not passing my anxiety to my children. I should not. So that's one takeaway I will carry forward. Thank you for highlighting that again. Just a reminder of that helps you to keep checking yourself. Probably most of these things that we discussed just now, all of our audience members, including ourselves, know. But the discussion that we are having, listening it again and again helps. That yes, we are on right track, and it's good reminders to each one of us. I won't take much time because we have a couple of questions. Let me start reading. The first one is, please suggest solutions for mothers where equal parenting is not working and all the load is on one mother. For sure, I would love to help you in this. And let me tell you one thing, mommy dear, you are not alone. You are not alone. It is not happening only to you. Equal parenting is a very new concept coming to India. There are countries that are following it, but India, it is slowly seeping in. There are wonderful set of families where we can see equal parenting, where both the parents are participating in every single task related to children. Very much so for financial gains of family, very much so for growth of family, very much so for academics of children. But if that is not happening, that few solutions that we have worked out is, first thing is accept that your partner is not equally involved in parenting. And I'm not talking only from mommies. I work with thousands of daddies. In fact, in some families, daddies are really getting burnout. They are really getting exhausted because mommies are having traveling jobs. They are not contributing in parenting much. So please don't take my answer as if it is only for moms or so. The answer is true where one parent is struggling more than the other, be it daddy or be it mommy. And if that is happening to you, my dear, first thing is accept. Stop fighting. Stop fighting this battle to convince your partner there is something called equal parenting. You need to do it. This friend of mine is doing it. She's enjoying that. He's enjoying that. Why can't I? So accept and stop comparing your family setup with any other family setup. Your family is unique. You are unique, my dear. Accept the reality. Once you accept it, then start talking about your pains with your partner when you two are not fighting, when everything is all fine, when you two are not having any arguments. Just share your pains, and at that very moment, give your solutions. Now, if your partner is not understanding, you talking for longer conversations will not help you. In such cases, we have seen psychologically very straight, crisp conversations help big time, big time. So please share your pain points, and at the same moment tell your partner, this is what I expect from you, and break it in step by step process. If I am preparing the snack boxes for children when they are going to school, can you help me in dropping children to school bus? That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. If I am preparing dinner, can you help me in laying out the dishes on dinner table? That's it. This is all you need to tell. Start from baby steps, my dear, and then do it. If after trying this you don't see wonders coming out, and keep trying it for at least 3 to 4 months, you won't see wonders coming out overnight. So keep trying this. If you do not see any change coming out or so, I would heavily recommend to you, believe in the support system from children. Laughingly, I say believe in child labor. Child labor, I mean to say, invest in your children to be independent. Give tasks to your children. If your partner is not supporting you much in sharing the load, ask your children to share the load. And trust me, your children can help you big time, mommy dear or daddy dear, whosoever has posted this question. Take help from your children. A wonderful thing that I will tell you, on an average, every single parent end up doing two kinds of parenting. One is instrumental parenting, another one is effective parenting. Instrumental parenting is when you involve your children in daily tasks: brooming, mopping, folding laundry, watering plants, putting the dishes back in cupboard, dusting, just managing their own clothes. All these mundane chores come into instrumental parenting when you do it with your children. Effective parenting, reading a book, watching a movie, going outdoors, playing cricket, planning for vacation, all these things, academics, all these things come under effective parenting. And I'm not kidding, but the most beautiful families that have strong parent child bonds follow instrumental parenting much more than effective parenting. So the successful parenting lies in having instrumental parenting. Do the daily chores with your children, and the byproduct of that is that your load is reduced. So, anyhow, my dear, instrumental parenting is the way to go. If God has given you 10 minutes, instead of reading a book with your child, ask your child to help you in folding laundry. This is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Make these changes in your life. I hope your partner understands the value of equal parenting. But if by the time that happens, don't hesitate in involving your children in sharing your load. And I'm not kidding. Your children will help you immensely the moment you give them this independence to help them. So hopefully it's a long answer, but I really would think that it will help you. Let me take one or two more quick question. How do we keep emotions in check while handling toddler tantrums 24/7 as compared to 4 to 5 hours a day? How about you, Arul? And you have younger children. Can you share? You have already shared a
Yes.
couple of inputs.
This is my favorite question to answer actually, because we did a lot of research and we've developed a system now to deal with tantrums. So we use a combination of things. So the first time there's a tantrum, we try distraction. So second time there's a tantrum, we do not try distraction, we try negotiating with something else. The third time there's a tantrum, I throw the tantrum along with him. So if he's shouting, I try to shout too. This is really effective. And the fourth time there's a tantrum, then I let my husband handle it and not me. And we do this in a circle so that he is confused how we are dealing with his tantrums and does not, develop a reaction to our negotiations with him. And this has been working. So we say A, B, C, D, and then we do the circle again.
Oh, awesome. Great tips coming from there. And I would say it's okay to tell your children at any point that mama is about to lose temper. Mama is about to shout. So mama has to leave the scene. I'll talk to you about it after some time. So it's true with daddy. I have trained many daddies on that, hey, buddy, I fear that I'm about to hit you. I better leave the scene. So when the tantrums go so high, parents, no harm in sharing your own emotions with your children. My last question, because we are running out of time, is coming from somebody who is from joint family. So over to Mansi, Namrata. If you can, please help us in finding this solution. This is from a project manager who is cooking, managing everything for a joint family. After all this, she is also a mother of 4-year-old son, and she finds it very difficult to take time out for her own baby, teaching him anything new or playing around or anything. How do you manage that when you have joint family members to take care and you urge to spend time with your child or children?
Right. So first of all, I would recommend that you make a list, make a priority list. Apart from doing your household chores, what else needs to be done? If there's a class, you write it down. If you need to talk about something, you write it down. Just prioritize your work in a way so you would know which work has to be given which kind of importance and how much time it needs. Obviously the demands will not be always be equal to the supply, but at least you'll be able to do more work if you prioritize your work accordingly. 1 2 3 4, say if you could just do 5 work in one day, you could complete only 5 of them, carry them forward to the next day. As simple as that.
Very
That
helpful.
yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, be clear in your priority and then write it down. Great tip coming from the mom there. How about you, Namrata? Before we say goodbye to everybody, last few words from you.
Yeah, I think what's important here is to understand that, traditionally the way joint families are, not a lot of people realize that, times have changed and the demands on mothers are a lot more than they were, in 18th century or in the 19th century. So sometimes the elder members in the family really don't know that you need help. It's not that I'm excusing their behavior in any way, but it's just could be a simple matter of ignorance, that they're not understanding and they're not realizing that you need the help, or they're not realizing that you need to spend quality time with your child, or they're not realizing that a play or a reading a book is something important that you do need to your child. So in such an instance, it's always important to have an open line of conversation. Tell your other family members that this is important to me and I need to do it, and how can you help me in doing this, or how can you help me in making time for it. I think this line of conversation really needs to open up, because sometimes people don't know that we need help, and there's no harm in asking for it.
Thank you so much, Namrata. I wish I could hear each one of you many more hours. Time is a big constraint here. With due respect to time, we need to wrap up this session. Wonderful, wonderful takeaways. Personally, for me, it was a really good session to take away. Each of your suggestions are wonderful, and I really sincerely thank you from bottom of my heart for taking time out for this discussion and pouring your heart out. Thanks a ton to each one of you, and to the audience. Thank you for trusting us again. I hope we all could do justice to your trust in us. You were listening to us so patiently with your wonderful set of questions. The questions that remain unanswered, my humble apologies to them. Feel free to write to us. KLAY Preschools and Daycare have a wonderful support system also. So please feel free to log in on KLAY website and feel free to touch base with us. We are more than happy to assist you in whatever little way we can. Happy parenting to each one of you. Mommies out there, please do understand that yes, motherhood is the best blessing of God, but it should not come at the cost of our own health. Please do take care of yourself to take care of your children. Put your oxygen mask first before you put it on your children. And I know we see our hearts walking outside our body. We see that moms don't sleep, they actually just worry with eyes closed. Our worries will never end, our concerns will never end. But it is high time that we also enjoy the childhood of our children. And I will give you one parting note, which I hear from most of the mommies that I work with who are going through emptiness syndrome. Mommies, when they go through this phase where children go out of the home to follow their dreams, they are studying across globe, and mommies are really now looking at the old albums, looking at the old videos. I'm having goosebumps when I say this, but it's a great lesson coming from mommies out there, that those of you who are listening carefully and have young children, thoroughly enjoy this time, because all those mommies are telling me in every single conversation that time just flies. You won't realize how quickly children will grow, and you will miss them immensely around you. So it is high time that you leave everything aside. Let the home be dirty. Allow yourself to miss some deadlines, but cherish this moment of motherhood. It will fly. It will fly very soon. And my humble thanks to each one of you, Arul and Mansi, Namrata. Stay connected. We'll keep doing our bit to
Yes.
bring these mommies together. And thank you so much for having all your great inputs here. Thank you for pouring your hearts out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank
having
you
us.
very much.
Thank you.